Okay, well, thanks for watching our video and the production we've created. Um, so, Eric and Allie, now that we're reflecting, what have you guys learned about Sergey, and what type of leader would you like to be now knowing this?
Personally, from what I've learned from Sergey, is a lot about his values, the social aspect of him valuing society and whatever Google does to help society become more efficient. Um, is something that I learned a lot about Google around their missions, along with innovation um, and the imagination aspect of what Sergey values. That's kind of like a general aspect of it, with like his Google Glass and stuff. Um, Something that really kind of got to me, how I would want to be a leader, and based off of what I learned from him, is how much he values like openness and connecting with individuals on a personal level. Um, Doing their TGIF meetings, um, being open to having employees stop him or shoot him personal emails is pretty cool. And based on the leader that I want to become, being able to connect to my followers on an individual level, I think benefits both the follower and the leader immensely. And also being open to change and listening to what others have to say and their personal opinions, I think is something I can change for myself to make myself better. But I think it can also help me become a better leader in that aspect too.
Cool. So, a strong focus on leading by example,
Yes.
as Sergey does.
Yes.
All right, and how about you, Allie?
I think the one thing that's really stuck out to me is from about like that I've learned about Sergey is from the first video I played his wife, and so I had to do a lot of research on like their relationship and things like that. And I just really found it interesting that from the beginning he has always been invested in her company. He helped her start it up. He was their top investor, and they're now divorced. And it was a really messy divorce, and yet he's still like their top investor. He still very much supports her and helps her out when need be, and she also reciprocates that with Google as well. And I just found that very interesting, and it kind of shows me like his values of like family, but also like helping others and investing in things that you believe in. And I really, really liked to see that because it showed me what type of a person he was and how he doesn't really pay attention to those like maybe like personal things. He doesn't let his personal life invade like his work life, and I just found that very fascinating. And then I think going off of that, especially the value side, as far as the type of leader that I'd like to be, I want to be somebody who can, like Sergey, make sure that like I'm like known for my values. I'm known as somebody who is like, I don't know, that I'm helping other people and things like that. And I also want to be known as somebody who is all the way down at that basic level, the entry level of people in the job, whether it be interns or, like your secretary even, but like going off of that, like even like the 80-20 program, and making sure that every single employee is heard, because you never know who's going to have that next brilliant idea. I think that's just a really cool way to be a great leader, is to make sure that every single employee feels valued in the company. And that's the type of leader I want to be, is somebody who values every single person that I work with, no matter how high or low in the company they may be.
Great. Thanks, guys. All right, Shane and Ya, what do you guys have to say as far as what you learned about the leader and what kind of leader you would like to become?
Okay, so after studying Sergey Brin this whole semester and finding out how he led his company and how he came to be a co-founder of Google, I was able to learn who he was as a person, and I found that he is not an overpowering personality, and he tends to inspire others and has high ethics and high motivational skills. And that directly goes into who I think I might become as a leader. Inspiration is a skill I haven't perfected yet, obviously, but I think that's a huge part of being a successful leader in a company. And so that's something that I hope to become someday, but it will take practice.
Great, thanks. And yeah, what's like something you've learned about?
Actually, I'm very impressed by this kind of leader. Sergey is very energetic, and he is good at motivating others. I feel the Google company actually is built by Sergey and Larry Page as a big community. They just focus on their one goals. and I really want to be this kind of leader, to be energetic on the development of the products and the company. I feel Sergey is very, he knows himself very well. He knows which part he is good at, so he just focuses on the engineering part and the innovation of the products. That's very good, not just simply impact other people's by and in any ways. And so they treat the employees very well by giving the opportunities for them to expressing the opinions. I want to be those kind of open-minded manager as well.
Great, thanks guys. All right, great guys. Can you now touch on ethics and what you would have had done differently?
Okay, so I'll touch on what I would have done differently first. As far as what I would have done differently, it would be that sometimes I feel as though Google's kind of like ahead of their time, like a little bit too much ahead of their time. I think sometimes when they're getting these products out there, such as like Google Glass, people don't realize yet that they need them. They don't really have a need for something that advanced yet, while Google thinks they're being extremely revolutionary and that, oh, everybody's going to buy these. If I don't think that I need it, I'm not going to shell out $1,500 for glass. Like, I'm not. That's just not going to happen. So I think sometimes they just kind of need to take the one step back and make like one product and then maybe just send out that next advanced model a little bit later once people realize that they actually may have a need for it. If that makes sense?
Yeah, and then based on that, I agree with Allie. They just need to do like a little bit more market research in discovering what need is out there for the prospective customers. I think with some of the things in Google X, they don't research their market first to see like what need is out there or how they could help society. I think Sergey and his team just goes off to try to create like new cool things without knowing what the market wants.
And then as far as being ethical, I feel like from at least what I've read that the company seems pretty ethical and that they seem to be pretty open about what they do. And like I said, they include all of their employees and things like that. So I think overall they're quite ethical. However, I think just having done a lot of research on his wife, the whole like cheating scandal and the affair with another employee ruined his marriage and all of this and that, obviously that's not extremely ethical. So I would say that is the one unethical thing that I think I've noticed with Sergey is having an affair with his wife, and he didn't really try to, or with someone else while he was married. He didn't really try to hide it or anything. So he was just very open about it in the end, and it was just kind of odd.
One ethical thing I would say about Google, or about Sergey too, is how he functions the company to squash out any competition. He wants to kind of monopolize it. And through that, they'll either just buy out other companies, or based on their pricing strategies and what products they're coming out with, they'll just completely try to obliterate any competition that there is. And I don't know how ethical that is, because competition is what helps businesses thrive.
All right, Shane and Ya, is there anything that you would have done differently after learning about Sergey? And then can you touch on the ethical component as well?
Yes. Through the research of Sergey and Google, I've come to realize that Google is an overpowering company. They don't necessarily pick on other people, but when they see an opportunity to take over a company, maybe future competition, they absolutely do it. That's just part of the corporate world, but also I think it has some shaky ethics to it. And then also I believe that Sergey is very ethical. He's the head of the ethics department, but he did break one of the Google policies in having an inter-company affair, and he broke his own code. So I think that's shaky. But aside from that, I can't really find anything that he's done wrong. He seems to be have very good values, and sticks to them all the time except for that affair. So that's about it.
Actually, I'm not agree on the privacy protect of Google, because many people have their account on Google, and if they just to save the data of the people, nobody will feel safe. And actually, the competition may force the Google to do this way, and many other companies also do the similar things. But as well, the Google states their motto as "Don't be evil," and I think they need to be consistent on what they said. So, as they provide the data, it's not the promise they said before.
Great. Thank you, guys. All right, and as for myself, I think what I've learned about Sergey Brin, our leader, stems more from his entrepreneurial side. To be a true entrepreneur, I think Sergey has showed as an example for others that you have to be willing to take risks and really be someone who's confident in your ideas, because a good entrepreneur really goes against the grain and does something new and bold. I think I would also like to be a leader like him, one who leads by example. As we showed in our videos, it's evident that he is easily approachable and present throughout the campus of Google. Would I have done things differently? One thing I would have done differently would have revolved around Google Glass, as others have mentioned. I think the marketing was pretty terrible for it. I would have made the product cheaper. $1,500 price point is atypical compared to many of their other components, like their web suite applications, which are all free. So that was kind of strange to me, that this product was really only available for the 1%, if you will. As far as ethics, I think from what I've studied on Sergey Brin, he is quite ethical. As people have said, he heads the ethics department, but in regards to the data that they store on their users, I think it's only to make their products offerings better. Thank you.